Can I get a woot woot? Can I get a woot woot? Good morning, business builders, and welcome to Business for Breakfast, where business is the most important meal of the day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger, the Venti Business Guy, otherwise known as VBG. Our goal in this show is to make you 1% smarter today by unpacking business news over the last 24 hours, sprinkled with tips and tricks to help you mind your own business. All right, my peeps, I know why you're here. It is not for me. It is definitely for the morning mark, okay? But you guys know, no prompts required, no drinks, no gear, just you and a functioning brain. We'll work with what we've got. Wherever you are, desk, truck, kitchen, job site, standing, or sitting, it doesn't matter. Pick one thing you will finish today. Not a list, not 10, not 3, just one. Now, mark it mentally and write it down. That is the line in the sand right there. That's the thing the day doesn't get to erase. This is the pause that sharpens the edge of the moment, that turns noise into signal. It's the tiny act that makes business owners dangerous in a good way. That, my friends, is your morning mark. Your day's officially started now. How about we do this? You drive and I'll dive. Let's jump into it. Okay, people? Now, my favorite segment of the entire day is, well, there's two parts. Really, it's the reframe because of how it completely helps change my life subconsciously with a little phrase or sentence. And then also this day in history. And this day in history is going to blow your face, your brain, and your mind right off your body. Okay. And so, would you like to get into this day in history? Because I know you would. Are you ready? Get ready. Get ready. Today, February 17th, get ready. Here it is. This day, 1867, the very first ship sails through the Suez Canal. That's right. That was the very first ship that passed through that canal. And you guys know it connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea, right? It's pretty huge when it comes to like global trade routes and shipping stuff to and fro, right? What else happened on this day in history? 1933, on this day in history, Newsweek first published. The very first issue of Newsweek, okay? And back in the day, it was News hyphen Week, hit the newsstands, became a titan of the 20th century journalism, shaping public opinion on science, business, and politics for decades. Unbelievable. This day in history, ready for this? 1904, for you people that dig opera, you know, if you've seen Phantom of the Opera, mind bending, by the way. 1904, Madame Butterfly premiere. This day in history, Giacomo Puccini's legendary opera premiered at La Scala in Milan. Oh my God, exactly. Oh my God. Do you think they're going to talk about today in the Olympics? It's in Milan. Okay, though it was initially a failure, it was quickly revised and became one of the most technologically demanding and frequently performed operas in history in freaking Milan. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Major world events. Ready? This day in history, listen to me. That's right. Jefferson. That's right. TJ is elected, okay, president after a grueling and contentious election that resulted in a tie in the Electoral College. The House of Reps finally elected TJ, right? Mr. Jefferson. All right. Moving on up to the east side. Okay. As the third president of the United States on the 36th ballot. Okay. This event led directly to the passage of the 12th Amendment, which, let's just go find out what the tar that is. Okay. Here we go. New chat. What is the 12th Amendment? Get ready. It is, it fundamentally changed how the president and vice presidents are elected. Before this amendment, the Electoral College operated under a system where each elector cast 2 votes for president. The person with the most votes became president, and the runner-up became vice president. So, the amendment key provisions separating the ballots. Electorals must now cast distinct separate votes for president and vice president. This ensures a running mate doesn't actually end up tied with or defeating the presidential candidate. Actually, that makes total sense. The habitation clause, at least one of the 2 candidates, president or vice president, must not be an inhabitant of the same state as the elector. Okay, that makes sense. House and Senate tiebreakers. If no president candidate gets a majority, the House of Reps chooses the top 3 candidates. If no vice president candidate gets a majority, the Senate chooses from the top. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Did you guys know that? I did not know that, man. This is crazy. What else happened in this day in history? Oh my God, dude. For you guys that love the game Battleship, 19 or no, screw that. We're going back to the 1800s, 1864. That's right. That's right. 90 years after, listen to me, 90 years after um, Paul, is running through, and we've got the 1776 war, basically Declaration of Independence. We've got this separation of the two countries. Okay, 1864, basically 90 years later, the very first successful submarine attack during the American Civil War. The Confederate submarine H.L. Hunley sank the USS Housatonic in Charleston Harbor. It was the first time in history a submarine successfully sank an enemy freaking warship. Now, though the Hunley and its crew were tragically lost during the return to shore. So basically, the ship sank, everybody perished, but this is the very first time. I often thought it was like Germany during World War I that figured all this out. I did not know, bro, that we were doing subs during the American Civil War, bro. That is insane. What else is going on this day in history? Famous birthdays. Today, our boy, it's the month of February, Magic 23, Michael Jordan. Let's be honest. If you were somebody, this is not even somebody born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s and part of the 90s. This is anybody that was basically grew up before the 2000s. Anybody will tell you, no matter the decade, who the greatest b-ball player was in history up until the 2000s, because for some reason millennials and Gen Zs believe like LeBron and all these other guys are no, you don't understand, bro. Basketball was played differently back in the 80s and 90s. It was routine that hockey and basketball had the best and worst fights. Okay. Everybody was bleeding. There was not one basketball game in the 80s and 90s where somebody wasn't bleeding because they threw freaking pointy, sharp elbows everywhere, bro. You go listen and watch Larry Bird, bro. Scrappy, bro. God. And that mustache, I miss that stuff, bro. What else is going on today? My boy, Thomas J. Watson. That's right. CEO of IBM. He was the architect of the think philosophy and built IBM into the dominant force of the early computing industry. The thing I loved about IBM was not them; it was what they stood for and how they treated their people. So that was Thomas J. Watson and Johnson. Both of them were obsessed with their people and spoiling them because they had a fundamental understanding that if your people are happy, your customers are happy, right? If your team's happy, your customers are happy. And so, what Thomas J. Watson did, they engineered a culture at IBM. You know that they did not lay off. Listen to me. IBM for 75 years. Listen to me. 75 years. Didn't lay off a single person. Not one. Because they were very, very big believers in they hire for life. And they were big on start with a career, but eventually we're going to find out what makes you tick. Okay. And we're going to move you from your career to your calling. So when somebody would not be doing a job well, they're like, well, first of all, they got in here, which means they are definitely IBM material, but we need to reassign them so that way they feel needed, appreciated, and valued, right? And so you understand, like this is you see I wear 6 of these WWJD bracelets, and one of these on this wrist, it's kind of hard to see, is a dark blue, and then you've got the light blue. So red, dark blue, light blue, and the top light blue represents IBM, Thomas J. Watson. And so I'm telling you guys, what these guys did completely innovated business, how we ran it, right? Who else has got a birthday today? Ed freaking Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, bro. And I'm telling you right now, you must the Benny Blanco, Daniel, let's see, Daniel, I always forget his last name. Daniel Wall, Benny Blanco. And it's always like behind the wall with Daniel Wall. So it actually, now I've sent behind the wall. It does. Last name is Wall. Okay. But dude, this hour and 20-minute interview of Benny Blanco, the dude like married to Selena, unbelievable. But he talks about how he toured with Ed for 2 years. And Ed had this insane gift that he could literally go out on tour. Like they were on this bus, and him and Blanco wrote countless #1 songs for not only Ed, but also for like Justin and some other people. And Benny Blanco tells a story with Daniel Wall that Ed would go on stage for a concert to play for 2 hours. Like they'd be riffing, working on a song. And then literally they'd come on, hey, Ed, you got 10 minutes for stage. Hey, Ed, you got 5 minutes for stage. Ed, you got to go on stage. He'd put down, they'd stop riffing. He'd go do his concert, come back. And he'd say, okay, I was thinking about the chorus here. What if we do like this and this? And Benny Blanco's like, wait a minute. Huh? What do you mean you were thinking about this song? You just played a concert for 2 hours. He goes, yeah, but that's all like a muscle memory. Like, I'm like, what? Did you hear that? That's Ed Sheeran. You don't think that dude's got skills? You crazy player. You crazy. And you guys also remember this day in history, bro. The Queen, Paris Hilton. Oh, yes. Her and Nikki, Paris and Nikki, Richie. That's right, because it's Lionel Richie's daughter. Paris and Nikki had the greatest show 20, 25 years ago. I can't remember the name of it. It was amazing. Okay, if you can think of it, shoot me in the comments, okay? What else is going on in this day in history? Oh, you know what? Today, here's a fun fact for you. Today is National Random Acts of Kindness Day. Whether it's leaving a generous tip or helping a neighbor, it's a great day to put some extra positivity into the world. You guys remember that movie, Haley J. Osment, years ago called Pay It Forward, right? And how about the movie Evan Almighty? Morgan Freeman, Jim Carrey, right? And you guys remember the whole premise of that? Was Jim Carrey's character, right? Which I think his name was like Evan Baxter. He was supposed to, because there was Bruce Almighty and then Evan Almighty. This is the second Evan Almighty, which I think came out in 07. But if you guys remember, God instructs, which is Morgan Freeman, Evan Baxter, Jim Carrey, to build an ark to survive the flood. But God defined ark as one act of random kindness. And he drew it in the stick, okay? And that scene explains the purpose of the ark. One act of random kindness. What was the message? God was explaining to Evan that changing the world happens one act of random kindness at a time. The ark, it serves as a literal vessel to save Evan's family and neighbors from a dam break while acting as a metaphor for kindness, right? So isn't that amazing, bro? You can save the earth with one act of random kindness a day. If each of us focused on helping somebody today, it's National Day of Act of Random Kindness. So of course we have to do it today. Okay, I don't care what it is. Go to Starbucks and buy the coffee behind somebody. Just go do it today. One act of random kindness today. Okay. All right, guys. Now, speaking of acts of random kindness, I want you guys to know that we also today, this is going to be your act of random kindness because at our accounting firm, we're the only firm that has basically open source peer advisory groups, which all of us need our own personal board of directors. It's like our own executive council. And they really give us clarity. They hold us accountable. And also, most importantly, they help us minimize mistakes, especially the ones that cost us money. Okay. So if you are someone that's like, look, I need help. I've been stuck. I don't know what step is first. I don't know the direction. I'm confused. Whatever it is, I want you to know that you've got help today. We want to be that act of kindness for you today. And there's two ways to get to us. Number one, you can get to us from businessforbreakfastradio.com. And you can ask a question. Hey, because every Tuesday is Tactical Tuesday. So we always build a service business on Tuesdays for under $1,000. Okay. And I'm so freaking excited to share with you what we're going to build today. But today, with you guys, if you guys have questions about that, I got a business or whatever, no problem. Business Breakfast Radio, hit it up, ask a question. I'll reply back, answer you directly, or read it on air. Or you can talk to me directly at speakwithaaron.com, speakwithaaron.com. Okay, aaron.com. And you can talk about anything, accounting, bookkeeping, consulting, payroll, whatever it is, let's chat. Okay, so that is going to be, trust me in this, you've got something that's been stressing you out, that's been weighing on you heavy. Talking to somebody about something, even as a listening ear, I promise you, will be an act of kindness for you. I promise you. Helping you suffer less, right? That is ministry. That is an act of kindness, helping you suffer less, right? Helping you mind your own business, right? All right. Now, we're about to jump into some juicy news. Juicy news. Juicy. news, juice of news today, people. But before we do it, I always read my tiny, tiny little disclaimer. Okay. So remember, we talk a lot about business growth, a lot about business and economy. But remember, I don't hold any securities licenses. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not nor ever constitute financial advice. I'm here to help you run your business like a Fortune CEO, not run your portfolio. Now it's time for that juicy news. Remember, guys, what the currency, the fuel that keeps this thing rolling is liking and subscribing. So, just real quick, if you guys don't mind, if you guys learn one thing from this show, it's my only request. It's the only compensation I require. You can get me to run literally 12 hours a day just with a tiny little thank you of appreciation. That is all I require. So if you guys can do that, that would be huge, 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 huge. Okay, now let's jump into some juicy news. Okay. And I'm telling you, it is going to be mind bending today. Okay. Now, I got to start off with an next post from my boy, Tim Ferriss, right here. Okay. Right here. 4-hour work week. You guys know that I talk routinely about the books that changed my life. Okay. And all the ones that you see behind me are definitely those. But favorite books, I'm telling you right now, I've got 5 of them. E-Myth Revisited, which is right there. Okay. Rockefeller Habits, it's the purple one right there. Purple and white. Winning by Jack Welch, my baby right here. Okay. Getting Things Done. Getting Things Done. Where the heck is it? Oh, right here, David Allen. And 4-Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss. This book completely changed how I thought about business delegating, basically removing the possibilities, the limited thinking of possibilities that I had. And Tim Ferriss really helped engineer a different way of thinking. Okay. And mainly, and he's always been very, very good about systems and processes and automation and SOPs. Okay. And this dude literally in the book, he talks about, look, let's say you were in a serious accident. And the doctor said, look, you can only work 10% of the 40 hours. You're allowed to work basically 4 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week in your business or in your job. How do you do it? And then doing the exercise and then acting as though there's an actual answer and possibility. It's like a Sudoku puzzle. You're trying to get to the answer. But teaching you to think like that. So when Tim says anything, I'm always like, what's my boy saying? And here's what he said. For me, the goal of investing has always been simple: to allocate resources, time, money, and energy to improve quality of life. This is a personal definition, as yours likely will be. Some words are so overused as to have become meaningless. If you find yourself using nebulous terms like success, happiness, or investing, it pays to explicitly define them or stop using them. What would it look like if you had XXX, question mark, question mark. Bro, I just told you, this dude just said, hey, if you couldn't work 40 hours a week and you had to work 4 hours, what would that look like? He just said it. What would it look like for you for success? And I'm telling you, for me, like, you have to understand, like, the pursuit of money for money's sake is as meaningless as spending 12 hours a day on a hamster wheel. You're going to wear yourself out, but there is no meaning behind it. It's like spending all day long just chowing on rice cakes. There's no meat. There's no substance behind that. So please, please, please don't have your definition of success be something about this. I need to attain more money, or your definition of investing is more. Define it, bro. Define it. Okay. And I love what Tim says here. Okay. To allocate resources, money, time, and energy to improve your quality of life. Gosh, dude, this dude always spits out freaking fire, bro. Always, always. Elon Musk. What else is going on in the news today? Let's see. Elon reposted on Doge today. HHS Doge team open sourced the largest Medicaid database in department history. I tell you, man. You hear this all the time, right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and I tell you, man, you're seeing it now, because as long as, like, you don't typically see cockroaches when it's really, really bright in a room. When it's dark and hidden and in secret is where the bugs and the mold and the bad stuff tends to grow, where there's no light. And I remember years ago, man, we had an in-house general counsel. His name was David May. I tell you, this dude, the most ethical dude ever. His son was special needs, and so he was very, very big into Special Olympics. I hope David and his son Brett, I think his name is Brett or Brent, Brett. I hope he's doing well, and I hope his son is doing well. But David taught me something years ago, and he said, in business, and he was always like a corporate attorney, in-house general counsel. He's like, man, I've worked for big companies, and they're usually heavily regulated. And he was for us because we were doing a lot of insurance and stuff. And so he said, man, I'm just telling you, if a regulator comes knocking, it's their job to find dirt. And he said, so always wear the white hat. Always wear the white hat. Do the right thing. Always. Okay. Act as though you're operating out of a glass box and everything's just fully transparent. Okay. So I thought, man, that is just so powerful because to me, that means a lot. And so whenever you have, when you can open source something that's been closed and hidden for decades, you can't even understand. Remember, the first time is always the worst time. So the first time you measure is always the worst time you measure. So if you just now, listen to me, if we just now opened up and open source the Medicaid database, can you even understand the amount of fraud happening? Because the first time is always the worst time. So it is absolutely mind-blowing. I can't even fathom the amount of fraud that we're uncovering or about to uncover, not just there, everywhere. And guys, understand, this is not left or right. It's not red or blue. This is just taking advantage of us. Anytime you see this, and again, I can show you just as many right-leaning as I can left-leaning politicians and administrations who focus purely on themselves and their posse. Yep, that's actually most administrations. And they get the media and legacy state-owned media to put out a narrative to get you to actually think something else is going on that's not actually going on, right? So they gaslight you and all the great things they're doing as they're stealing from you, but you don't know because you can't see what they're actually doing. That's why this is so important. Okay, that's why we have to have this. And anytime you can do that, you hear me do this example every day. But administrations and all these people in office literally live in the castle on the hill. And it's been decades. Listen to me. It has been decades since the royalty has trotted down the hill into the village to see how the peasants are doing. Yeah, they need to come down to see how we're hanging out. They do. They do. And I'm telling you right now, this anytime I see this type of stuff, like, hey, we're working on it, what I feel is that somebody's finally hearing me because all the pressure gets put on my back and your back, not their back. No, 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 no. Remember, that's the only place, the people that work in the castle, that's the only place in the entire kingdom that insider trading is legal. Insider trading is legal in the castle. But as soon as somebody in the village catches wind of what they're doing in the castle, no, that is illegal for you in the village. You're going to go to jail. You're going to be whipped. You're going to be fed bread and water. But in the castle, that's just a Tuesday. That's just a tactical Tuesday, right? Right? So no, man, I'm telling you right now, it needs to be uncovered because the weight is crushing us. It's crushing us. Dan Martell said, the language you use to describe problems can stop you from solving them. Dude, I'm telling you right now, one of the biggest reframes actually came from Scott Adams a couple months before he passed away. Totally changed my life because I don't know, man, it's weird. The older I get, the more panic attacks I have. And I realized through all this that through all of this, my spirit, like, I don't know, like I just get stressed way more than I did in my 20s and 30s. And I realized, wait a minute, okay. And then Scott Adams a couple months ago comes out and says this thing. He's like, don't think of the things you deal with as problems. Think of them as puzzles to solve. And I was like, what? Mr. Drake Finance. Ah, yes. Shut up, dude. No way. That's fantastic, bro. I would love to be able to chat with you about that. And so that we kind of talk about it. So that would be fantastic. Mr. Drake Finance, the accumulation phase was surprisingly fast for me. He hit financial independence in less than 2 years. It's possible, bro, but you gotta be here, man. You gotta think it here. And that's what Dan is saying here. You've got to, your words frame everything. And so I had to do a new reframe where because I was feeling problems. And literally, you will hear me say this all the time now, every day. Like I live this. Problems are not to be felt; They're puzzles to solve. Man, problems are not to be felt. They're puzzles to solve. Um, and for whatever reason, man, everything I'm dealing with, and I bring this to the team when we do our huddle calls. It's like, no, what's going on? And you can tell I'm usually the first one to get emotional. And I'm like, okay, oh wait, this is a puzzle. How do we solve this? What's some ideas? Throw them out. Come on now, let's do this, right? And remember, there's no checkmate in business. So as long as we stare at the chessboard long enough, there's always a move. So how do we solve this puzzle? And it goes from feeling it like, oh my God, it's crushing us to, wait a minute, this is no big deal. We can get this done, no problem, right? So think about it like that, guys. If for me, what Dan is saying is everything, because how you frame and word everything dictates everything. Is everything an adventure to you? Or are you afraid of everything? Your mindset is everything, right? What else is going on in the news today? Ah, Brian Johnson put this post out, bro, and it was fantastic. Okay. He said the best way to overcome fatigue and a lack of self confidence is to build life control systems. He said, master these this week. And there's 4 things here: be in bed, same time every night. Talked about this yesterday too. Final meal, 4 hours before bed. Okay. And I tell you guys all the time, man. Routine is the key. Consistency will set you free. Routine is the key. Consistency will set you free. My routine is the same every night. Monday, it's literally Sunday to Saturday. My routine is the same. 8 p.m. I start shutting down. By 9:30, I'm in bed every night. It has to be that. Also, I don't eat during the day. I have basically eggs, and there's a lot of reasons why I do just eggs. Usually 4 eggs a day. And then my feeding window starts at 4. So 4 to 8, and then by 8:30, I'm shutting down, finishing up with my fiber water, getting ready for bed. He put in here screens off an hour before bed. I don't do that. I should, but I don't know, man. Like, I feel like when I finish it for the day, I've got 2 or 3 hours before I'm like in bed. And I'm like, I just want all that time to unplug and unwind and just check out. And Rebecca and I have like amazing shows. And last night, I'm just going to be honest with you, I had a couple episodes of Housewives of Beverly Hills to catch up on. And oh my God, the tea, oh, it's so spicy happening right now. And so much of this is around the new girl, Amanda. Oh my God, this manifestation chick is hysterical. Okay. That's a big reason why it's very difficult for me to turn off between Trader, Beast Games, Housewives, bro. Like, when whatever great show, his and hers, whatever. It's like, what? Or this insane movie Rebecca and I just watched because I'm obsessed with Neil Diamond, called Sad Song with Hugh Grant, or Hugh Jackman, and oh gosh, what's her name? Famous actress. Anyway, oh my God, dude, phenomenal. If you love Neil Diamond, you're gonna love this movie. Okay. And the last thing, exercise every single day, even a little bit. Okay. Just do it, man. Set a timer every hour. Just do something for 5 minutes, bro. Just do something for 5 minutes. Okay. What else is going on in the news today? Oh, I know what's going on in the news today. I know what's going on in the news. Okay. You guys ready? All right. Here's a big story going on right now. This is a big one. Okay. So this is the SBA eligibility shift. Here's the title: U.S. citizenship now required for all loans. Okay, so here's the story: a new SBA policy change, dude. It's almost every day the SBA is changing, coming up with new laws and policies. And from a non-political perspective, specifically from the point of view of a mom and pop venti shop, it's good for us. Okay, politics aside. So here's a story: a new SBA policy change restricts loan eligibility to businesses owned 100% by U.S. citizens, effectively barring lawful permanent residents, green card holders. This move marks a significant departure from decades of policies that included resident non-citizens. Okay, so why is that a big deal for us? Okay, well, if your business has non-citizen ownership, your access to government-backed capital is disappearing. Okay, so if you're planning on like expanding your biz, like with one of the SBA 7A loans, you now have to have private alternatives, or you've got to change ownership. Yep. And so, but here's the thing. And by the way, again, good or bad, from the point of view of being the actual, like, imagine like being an actual child of these parents, and they also have foster kids, and the foster kids get everything, and you get nothing. And you're like, yeah, but here's the dealio. Like, I'm actually their kid. Okay. And like, right. But the foster gets everything. Like, okay, I don't understand how that works, but I don't have a choice. But that's what I'm saying. It's weird, man. And I'm bringing this up because all these new changes, you need help. You need guidance. We all do, man. And so we are here for you guys. It's ministry for us. Our only job at our accounting firm is to help you suffer less. So if you have questions about accounting, payroll, the new OBBBA laws, how that affects you, taxes, payroll, I've got this idea for a business. I've been stuck in my business for a couple of years. Whatever it is, man, we got you. Okay. You can hit us up a couple of different ways, businessforbreakfastradio.com. Submit a question. I'll reply back to it directly or read it on air. Or you can hit me up directly at speakwithaaron.com, speakwithaaron.com. That's aaron.com. Schedule a time to talk with me about any of those issues. Trust me, we're going to help you be a little lighter. The elephant on your shoulders is going to go in the sauna today, right? He's going to go in the sauna. Okay. What else is going on in the news today? Okay. Brandon Avediakin, by the way, great follow. Okay. On X, and this dude puts out a post a couple days ago, which I thought was fantastic. Okay, so make it to the Olympics and be the 12th best skater out of 8 billion people in the world, and you win nothing. Okay, be the 12th best plumber in a city of 1 million people, and you are set for life. Life is a game, bro. Be careful which games you play. Bro, Scott Adams has said this for years, bro. He never understood the Olympics. He's like, why? Because you understand the greatest flop in Olympic history happened this Olympics, okay? With whatever the famous quadruple male ice skater. The most spectacular flop in Olympic history happened just last week, okay? Over the weekend. And that's what the point is. Like, you understand, best skater in the world by a mile. One bad minute, one bad 3 minutes, one bad session, and now nothing. Is that fair? 12th best plumber in a city of a mill, and you don't know what to do with all your business. See what I'm saying? So Brandon, great point, bro. Great point. Something from the Wall Street Journal. Americans offer plenty of reasons for pessimism about the economy, but those with a bright outlook share similar traits, according to responses from Wall Street Journal readers. Would you like to know what those responses are? Please summarize this article in 100 words. Okay, here it comes. Wall Street Journal highlighted a sharp divide. Okay. While many express deep pessimism fueled by high housing cost inflation, skepticism toward the American dream, those with bright outlook often share distinct traits. These optimists typically view the economy through a personal lens of stability, focusing on their own employment and financial control rather than the national headlines. They often prioritize aggressive savings, debt reduction, and adaptability. This group tends to see current challenges as surmountable, contrasting with the broader public's growing lack of confidence in future generational mobility. So basically, it's your mindset. It's the lens in which you see the world. And we talk about this all the time. We talk about reframes. Do you have a mindset of reciprocity? Do you have a mindset of helping, being useful, helping people suffer less, right? What is your mindset? I can't really fix any of that stuff. That's why when Scott Adams passed away in January of this year, it was very difficult because that's where I got a big source of my news was from him without the propaganda and the clickbait stuff where I'm getting the emotion. Because you understand, media is designed to release dopamine, tiny amounts of dopamine, which gets you addicted coming back. Okay, it's an addictive game. These communication media companies employ the most brilliant behavioral scientists on earth to figure out how to get you to be emotional and respond emotionally, because when you respond emotionally is when it actually sets and you become team play. Right. That's why it's impossible for somebody that is not into sports to be like obsessive and passionate about a team, because you've got to have the emotion attached to that. But if you're not emotional, you can like a team, but you're not going to like OCD. And when that team loses, you're like, whatever. It's not going to ruin your day or your week or nothing like that. Okay. So this is all about you. What can you control? What can you control? Right. So to me, this was like a reset. And I really, really like this. I thought this was powerful. What else is going on in the news today? Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. Fast Company came out. This article came out a couple days ago. This MIT researcher made a machine that turns photos into smells, brah. Photos into smells. Okay. Now, um, I want you to go back with me if you don't mind. If you were born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, and party in the 90s, okay, you remember something called scratch and sniff stickers. That's right, scratch and sniff stickers. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, bro, MIT researcher just came up with a machine that basically makes this permanent. Permanent, like a machine that turns photos into smells. No freaking way, bro. No freaking way. I want you to imagine, like, looking at a picture of people on a beach and you freaking scratch it and it smells like the ocean. What the hell, bro? What the hell? Whoa, dude. Whoa, the possibilities. Oh my God. I've got so many different photos in my mind. Some of them I can't think or say. I can think, but I can't say it. But dude, this is crazy. Crazy. Oh my gosh, dude. Scratch and Sniff is coming back, players. And my girl, Cody Sanchez. Dude, if I post basically something about her basically every day, okay? Hard truth, in the near future, you will either manage AI or be managed by an AI. I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me. This is so freaking important, guys. The most important skill that you can learn, and anybody that understands AI, when I say this, they all say in unison the same thing. If you don't know AI, you won't know what I'm about to say. The most important skill that you can acquire, make that your goal for 2026. You must learn how to be good at, okay, prompt engineering. Prompt engineering. Already probably saves me about $20,000 a month in high dollar consulting. It it really has almost like tripled our corporate office without adding anybody. And the great thing is our core five and our executive council are all now using AI, and you have no idea. Like yesterday, I went to the office, and Sonia, our office manager, was like, "Oh my god!" So I was using AI, and I was kind of redoing our tax checklist. And she goes, "I've got this one, and here's the one for the business. What do you think?" And I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, it's rough. We got to clean it up. But the fact that you handed this to me is everything to me." Okay, and so, but I'm telling you, that is the power of prompt engineering. Are you hearing me? Okay, so listen. It's a big, big deal. Cody's 100% right, man. 100% right. If you don't know this, you are going to be left in the dark. You're going to be, when everybody else is driving a Model T, you will be the last person. Everyone's going to call you Amish, bro. You're the last person driving a freaking stagecoach. But the worst part is the Amish do it on purpose, and you don't even know you're driving a stagecoach. People are like whizzing by you in that's called AI. And you're like, what the hell? Like this freaking horse, it's always hurting itself. Like my freaking, it's like bumpy and crap. And these wheels, I just wish like there could be like rubber wheels. And like a Corvette passes you, zoom, and you don't even see it. You don't pay attention. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what you're seeing today. It's a big deal, bro. Big deal. Um, Dan Martell, who is another one of my faves, bro. I've said this a million times. Like if I had the opportunity to have a conference and I could pick 4 people to do a conference with that I think would have the most impact for mom and pop venti shops, would be, okay, obviously me, because I think our business owners need to know the 7 plates of business and how we need to function with basically us spinning all 7. But then you have Cody Sanchez, my gal, and Dan Martell. This dude is just like me. He's got a little bit more gray hair, but this he's obsessed with efficiency and the thing. Okay. And he basically stated, oh, and the third person is going to be Dave Beyer, bro. Just go listen to that dude's manifestation, 4th dimension stuff, how he explains what's going on in your body chemically, neurologically, with this stuff. I don't know. He's got a really cool way of stating stuff. And Rebecca and I actually signed up for his concert, or not his concert, his conference at the end of March. I'm very excited about it. But those 4. So Dan Martell puts out something on X of the day, says one of the biggest flexes is to have a life you're proud of. Man, being able to tell somebody, this is what I do, you know, To be able to look at somebody and say, "Nah, man, I'm proud of my business, and my customers love us and love me." There's something magical that happens when you can wake up every day with a sense of purpose and um, having a life that you're happy with. And you guys remember the audio success years ago called "The Strangest Secret," and uh, uh, what was the guy's name that did "Strangest"? You guys know what I'm talking about, but you'll tell me in the comments. But he ended up gave the definition of success the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. The progressive realization, meaning it's not the destination, it's the journey to the destination, is actually the definition of success. But I like Dan's too. Like, why can't you have a life you're proud of? Like, I dig what I do. It's not work for me. I get to utilize what my giftings and talents are. I get to work with amazing people. What we do as an organization is ministry for our customers. Oh, by the way, I get to work with my best friend, my wife. Like, pinch me, am I like living a fairy tale? Right. Like Warren Buffett would always say, I get to tap dance to work. If your life is not one you're proud of, look, you're living. You're in your own choose your adventure book right now. You're at the end of a chapter, and it says, if you want to go this path, go to this page. If you want to go to this path, go to this page. You get to pick which path you're going. You do. Pick it. If your life is not there, freaking engineer it, brah. Engineer it. Go to the page. Choose your own adventure. Choose it. Okay, Dan? Well said. Well said. Um, ooh. Sadok is a great follow, Sadok on X. Dude, what he said about feedback was fantastic. Okay. And he said, look, don't be embarrassed to ask customers for feedback. Don't be embarrassed to send a survey. Don't be embarrassed to ask how you could do better. One honest answer is worth more than 10 features. Listen to me. Listen to me. You always hear me talking Bob's Burger. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Okay. The 4 C's of feedback. Okay. Comments, criticism, complaints, compliments. Most people think 3 are bad and 1 is good. In actuality, 3 are great, 1 is okay. When people tell you what you do right, how does that help you make your business better? It doesn't. It doesn't. And here's the problem. How you frame your feedback is negative, and you've got to change the mindset with a new reframe. I also learned this from Scott Adams. Okay. When you get feedback, don't think of it as a personal attack on you that you did something wrong. Imagine in your brain a cash register. And so you hear every time somebody gives you feedback, one of the 3 C's, comments, criticism, or complaints, the button goes cha-ching and the door flies open and money goes kapoof and flies out. Every time you get feedback for your business or you personally, even you personally, that feedback is going to make you money. Stop taking the feedback personally, right? It's hurting you. You got to stop it. That's what Sadok is saying here. Change that, right? And here's also how this is going to help you with this too. Have the mindset, bro. This is a big life value. When I say life, it's one of my big life core values. We don't have organizational core values. We have core values that just are baked into our lives that we happen to do at home and at the organization. And this is a huge one for us, bro. It's not my idea or your idea, but the best idea that wins. It's not my idea or your idea, but the best idea that wins. That's what Sadok is saying here, right? Stop taking the feedback personally. And by the way, when somebody offers an idea and it's not yours, don't dismiss it, because 9 out of 10 times it's the team that is actually fighting the fight in the trenches that usually has the ideas, usually has the closest ear to the customer. Most of the stuff you do should be coming from them, not you, unless you do exactly what we're talking about here and you survey your customers. I'm going to tell you something right now. If you guys do this one thing today, it's going to change and revolutionize your business. Here it is. It's the 3x3 survey. And what I want you to do is start with your team members. And I want you to just either you want to print it out or do some basic like Survey Monkey, Wufoo type of survey form. create this thing, and I want you to go in, and I want you to go in, and I want you to ask 3 questions. Make this anonymous. Okay. What are the 3 things we're doing right as an organization? What are the 3 things we're doing wrong as an organization? And give me some ideas to fix it. And your job is, based off the survey, is to then decide the priorities for the organization based off of that. Trust me, it'll completely transform. Because remember, trust by its nature takes time to build, right? So to get your team to trust you, you've got to show them that you are worthy of being trusted, which means you've got to do a survey and you got to keep it anonymous. You can't say, Beth, I know it's anonymous, but this is exactly how you write. Okay. So Beth, no, we're not going to do that. Nope. You just ruined the whole thing and you just crushed the tiny little bit of trust you were about to start gaining. You did. So please understand that if you do this right, it's going to completely transform your business. Okay. What else is going on? Boy, this happened yesterday. Robert Duvall. This dude passed away. The amount of movies, the amount of lives that you talk about playing phenomenal characters. What an amazing actor. What an amazing life. Okay. This dude right here, absolutely amazing. Starred in The Godfather, but it was actually in, wasn't he the dad? Hold on. Okay. Maybe, was he in The Proposal? Was he the dad in The Proposal? I think, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah. The guy's just amazing. And he passed away yesterday. So let's really make sure we honor that dude. Oh, this is actually really, really awesome, man. Wall Street Mav reported on this. Jobs right now, the jobs report is up. Jobs are booming, growing twice as fast as the economy needs. Wages are up 5%, which is huge. And 500,000 workers are getting back to work. This is the economic collapse the media predicted that is not happening. But you have to remember, man, like, this is why. If the mindset is we're going to be okay, let's get back to work, and you hear that all the day from those that are in the castle on the hill, well, then we in the village, just us peasants in the village, look and we're like, okay, man, like, I think you're right. Like, okay, let's do it, man. Let's, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring on a new team member for my blacksmith shop. And then, you know what? I need to bring in like a money person for my anvil making business that I've got. Dude, I've been doing the same shoes forever. I've got like a new line of like cobbles that I want to start producing, like a new wood sole that I'm thinking. It's got some like cuts and stuff in it. I'm thinking about calling it Ibram. No, like violet. It's gonna look like a purple color. I'm gonna call them like Vibram soles, something like that. But I need to get a new piece of equipment, and so I'm gonna go out and borrow money. All of that happens when people have a strong outlook on the future. If they don't have a strong outlook on the future, people give up hope. Okay. This is what this is saying. People are hopeful. Okay. And they're acting as that. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. Very, very, very good for us, man. Especially as mom and pop venti shops. Okay. Bro, this is a great post by Reeds with Ravi. So this is one of the most famous quotes by Mike Tyson. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but when Mike Tyson said this, he was being interviewed by Joe Rogan. And this is before he started training for the Jake Paul fight. Jake or Logan, I don't remember which one it is, but it's one of the Paul brothers. And so Mike Tyson has 2 versions of him. He's got the Buddhist peacemaker in him, and then he's got the untamed lion in him as well. And on this one episode of Joe Rogan, he was talking specifically about how he's like, that guy is put away. And he was talking about like, and Joe was like just asking questions like, how did you like every day do it? And he goes, man. And the way the Mike Tyson talks, he talks with a little lisp, and he's like real quiet. He's like, discipline. Oh, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Discipline is doing what you hate doing, but doing it like you love it. Hearing this from Mike Tyson, bro, was like, what? What? That's the reframe, bro. Today's lesson for Scott Adams is chapter 8, How to Reframe Your Brain. In this book, chapter 8 is about you making your own reframes. That's what this is, bro. It's a reframe to get you to do something you don't want to do and then actually enjoy it. I told you guys my reframe every day to get in, take a cold shower every day, and I won't ever skip it, no matter the season and no matter where I'm at. There will always be a cold shower I take every day. But it's because I've taught myself to look at it not like I hate it, but that it's refreshing and I can't wait to get in. It's a reframe, bro. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. Mike freaking Tyson, bro. If that isn't everything, I don't know what is. Okay. I need to shift. And so I know that there was a ton of news today. But I've got a micro little lesson that I need to share with you guys on something that happened to me a couple days ago. Okay. And this is, I'm a little embarrassed by it, to be honest with you. But you know what? I feel like oftentimes that the lessons, you guys know I'm the most transparent human alive. So I lean on the side of sharing too much and of embarrassment, but I don't get embarrassed. So everything that I share with you is just my life with no embarrassment. Okay. So, as many of you guys know, I've been sober since 2010, November 25th. Actually, 2010 is my sober date. And I've um, been sober going on 16 years. But I do have a distillery in my house. That's right. But I don't distill beer. I distill water. I know I am that idiot. Okay. But I'm also the cheapest human alive. And so when you like, I have like $100, it's actually like $79 now. When I bought it years ago, it was like $99. It's now $79. It's like a distiller. And you put like a gallon of water in it. And 4 hours later, 3.5 hours later, it spits out a gallon of distilled water. And so now, for years, now, when I just tell you guys, it's not my idea, your idea, but the best idea that wins. I'm about to tell you how this can go bad. Okay. And the goal here is to not do what I did. Okay. Here's what happens. So I'm distilling some water. Now, the thing is it's sealed. Okay. So it's a stainless steel tub and it's got this thing on top and it basically boils the water for hours and all the steam that collects it captures it and then dumps it out as distilled water and then leaves you all there's a grime in the bottom, okay, of the stuff that's actually in the water. And so I've got the distiller in the top. You have to be very careful. If it just finishes distilling, the steam will scald you. The steam in this distiller will scald you. Okay. So now my wife for years has been telling me, babes, use oven mitts when you touch and use this thing. I'm like, whatever. I'm a dude. I don't need to listen to you. Okay. This whole concept of, my idea, your idea, best idea wins. Baloney. In this case, my idea wins. And so for years, babes, use oven mitts when you do it, because here's what she always said. If any of that water you're dumping out, because usually about once a week, I'll clean it. And how you clean a water distiller is it's like half of it is like water. And then you put like maybe an inch or two of like vinegar. And then you run it for like 30 minutes and it completely descales the entire distiller and removes it. So I was doing one of my cleaning cycles. It was like last week sometime. I don't know, maybe Friday. I don't know when it was. Maybe I think it was Saturday. And I just finished it. And so, and whenever you clean it, remember the water inside is boiling. And so no big deal. I took the top off. And when you take the top off a distillery, you have to do it away from you. Because if you open that thing around you, whatever skin is close to it, you'll scald it. You'll scald your skin. Okay. So open it away. Okay. Put the top over here. Right. And then I've got this thing of water and it's just cleaned. So I start dumping it. Remember, no gloves. I start dumping it because the outside is cool. It's not hot on the outside. It's just dealing with scalding water on the inside. So I start tipping it and the water starts dripping down my hand and burning my hand right here. And I have to leave my hand, and then the water dumps all over the sink and all over me from the waist down. My shorts soaked, and I swear to you, I'm not proud of this. Scalded the tip of my pee-pee. Yeah, the penis got scalded. Okay, I said it, bro. And yep, all because I didn't listen to my wife. Okay. And so when I always say, you know, when you got to have your own, we always call it the Fokker circle of trust. Meet the Fokkers, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Jack, remember Jack Byrne, Jack Talk Tie. Okay. Oh, Jack Talk Tie, real good, right? He had a circle of trust. Okay. When that person's in your circle of trust, they have the full authority to say something to you in peace and love and you not get offended. Okay. But they got to be in your circle of trust. Okay. And for some reason, this moron right here, scarlet letter M for moron. My wife is amazing. Okay. And she literally is like, hey, babes, don't do that. I'm like, right. Let me just put my hand in the garbage disposal, like as it's moving. I'm just an idiot. And sometimes, right. And so, not listening to her, dump it, still have a burn on my first finger because that's what caught most of the water and the rest of it down here. And I basically, from that moment, was like, wait a minute. Nope. I need to start listening to my Fokker circle of trust. And so for you guys, it's the same thing, man. Like, look, dude, don't wait until your penis gets burned. Okay. Don't do it, bro. Listen to your circle of trust and have the mindset. It's not my idea or your idea, but the best idea that wins. Are you guys tracking with this? Are you tracking? Okay. Because I was able to, in that last couple minutes, tie in kind of like my little whiteboard story, little Navi lesson, and one of Scott Adams' chapter 8 is about making your own reframes. Okay. How to reframe your brain. It was the last book that Scott wrote before he passed away. I promise you, it will change your life. It absolutely unequivocally will change your life. Okay, guys? And here's the deal, guys. For you, if you are stuck and you need somebody to help you, to partner with you, you're ready for life change, we got you. There's two ways to hit us up, man. Two ways. Number one, you can go to businessforbreakfastradio.com, submit a question. You guys know every Tuesday we do and we analyze a quick business before we jump off, because Tuesday is Tactical Tuesday. So you guys know I'm a big believer that everything starts as an acorn and we can literally engineer anything from the ground up. And so I thought, if you guys need help with any of this stuff, before we jump into our quick little biz lesson, you can hit us up, businessforbreakfastradio.com or speakwithaaron.com, speakwithaaron.com. Schedule a time to talk with me about anything, business, accounting, payroll, consulting. I don't care, strategy. Let's do it. Okay. Now, before we wrap, the most important part of our Tactical Tuesdays is the business. And now, here's the deal. I've got a business I want you guys to start. Okay. Here's the deal. Last week we did a concierge senior driving business for under $1,000. Because I've got a mole mechanic. His name is Joseph. He and his wife are amazing. This dude is phenomenal. And so he just texted me a couple days ago, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do Tactical Tuesday on how to start a mobile mechanic business for under $1,000. And you don't need a truck. You don't need a truck. But look, I'm going to show you guys how to build your lean mobile unit right here, and you don't need a truck. Okay, we're not competing with shops. We don't need a lot of equipment. Okay, we're competing on convenience, transparency, and lower overhead, meaning lower cost. Okay, here's the phases. Phase 1, the inventory and the minimum viability kit. Okay, so days. Remember, everything's done like in 90 days. I build this where in 90 days you're making money in this business. So day 1 to 15, your budget $600. Okay, we don't need a big truck. But we do need a way to get the tools into the car. Okay, so use your current daily driver. Okay, so if it's a sedan, use heavy-duty plastic bins, right? But here's the toolkit, the tool audit, what we'll call it. Inventory is kind of what we need. Here's how we spend the $600. Okay, it's like the essentials, like the kit. Okay, high quality, low profile floor jack and stands, a portable jump pack. Okay. Mid-range OBD2 scanner. Personally, for me, everybody in my family has one of these in a car. It's the Blue Driver. It's $100, and it is game changing. Okay, it's tiny. Okay, and so this is kind of where This is where we always call it like Swiss train station. Everything's got to be labeled and modular, easy to get to. Okay. So if you spend 10 minutes looking for a 10 millimeter socket, you're already losing money. It's got to be quick, get there. And if you got ADD, follow this rule. Don't put it down, put it away. Please, 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 from experience, don't be an M for moron. Okay. Right. Phase 2. This is the day like 16 to 30. Okay. It's the legal and digital phase. Okay. Budget 250. All right. So we don't need to spend a couple $1,000 on an attorney. Okay. Registration, we got to follow the LLC, a couple $100 for Texas. Okay. Insurance, basic general liability. Okay. And then we need to get you some like digital business card. Okay. Google business profile, Facebook page, easiest way to get this crap started. Okay. Phase 3, day 31 to 45. This is where we start focusing on hyper local lead gen. Okay. Budget $100. Okay. Obviously, we're not buying Super Bowl ads here. Okay. But jump in the next door website, an app, post in the neighborhood groups. Local engineer and mechanic, tired of shop prices? I come to you for brakes, oil, and diagnostics. No overhead equals lower rates for you. Yeah, you don't think if you post that once that you get one job? And this is a mole mechanic. As long as you don't blow the engine, they're coming back to you basically for as long as you live, unless you raise your rates to the price of a brick and mortar or you move and shut the business. Otherwise, you have a customer for life. And about a mole mechanic, they tell everybody about you. Everybody. Joseph, I've told probably 10 people about this dude. Literally, everybody I talk to, I tell about him because I love him. I love his model. I love his heart. I love the way he and his wife run the business, all of it. Okay. So get a high quality magnetic signs for your car doors and then spend $50 on a simple, clean flyer and hand deliver those to the local office parks. Okay. Because people freaking hate taking their car to the shop when they're at work during the day. For the love of Mary. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I just had an idea. Okay. All right. Anytime I pause like that, you guys know what's going on. Phase 4, this is the service menu. So this is day 46 to 60. Your budget's like $50. Analysis by paralysis happens when the menu is too big. You are not doing engine swaps in a driveway. Okay. We only do brakes and rotors, battery alternator replacement, oil and fluid services, and like pre-purchase inspections. Because this is the secret weapon. You can charge $100 to go look at a used car for someone, 0 parts whatsoever, and it's 100% profit. Literally, it's the greatest thing on planet Earth. It really is. Okay. Phase 5, first dollar, day 61 and 90. This is where we start closing the biz, right? So this is where that engineer, the mechanic becomes the entrepreneur. So we got a quote. So the very first time you post in Nextdoor, expect somebody to respond back. And they're gonna be like, hey, I need help with this. No problem. Use a simple app like Wave or Square. We always used, what did we always use for estimates? I can't think of what it is right now. But that's you want to send a professional, like itemized quote, and we want to get it done quickly, and you want to do it via email. So use something very easy, cheap to do this. Okay. And then here's where we start dialing in Swiss train station. Because remember, that is what gets people addicted to you. Okay. Arrive 5 minutes early. Lay down a clean mat so you don't drip oil anywhere in the driveway. Always take before and after photos of the parts. Always. Always. By the way, it shows them. Also, it's CYA. You know what I'm saying, playa? You know what I'm saying. Before you pack up that first job, hand them 3 cards. If you refer a neighbor, I'll take 10% off your next job. Yes, dude. Here's the mobile mechanic business. Floor jack stands, your scanner, and your bins. 600 bones. Legal, follow the LLC, filing, blah, blah, blah. 250. Marketing, car magnets and flyers, $100. Admin, business phone line, software, Google Voice, any of these services, get a phone. Matter of fact, with our system, a lot of our mom and pops will use our system because we just basically issue a line and extension off of our phone system for our mom and pop Venti shops specifically for this. And a lot of our businesses, we also have them with customer service too. So it just makes it very easy and it's cohesive. But at the same time, like this is right here how you do it. It's how you do it. Are you guys blown away? Are you? Because I know, like Tactical Tuesday for me, so many of you guys think that having a side hustle is just out of your reach, that it costs too much. And I'm going to prove it to you guys every single week, every Tactical Tuesday. I'm going to build you a service business that you can do for under $1,000 and be profitable, making money within the first 90 days. The goal here is to help you realize that it's not this Mount Everest, it's quite literally an anthill. That's it. It's not a Mount Everest, it's just an anthill. Okay? Were you guys encouraged today, man? I told you, bro. I don't know why, man. I feel like we just keep kicking tail and taking names on freaking Business for Breakfast, man. Like, I feel like every time we do this, it's the best show ever. But remember, guys, if you think that what we talk about here is hard or you think it's easy, you're right. Please just don't work in your business. Make sure you mind your own business, man. You got to be working on this puppy. All right, my beautiful peeps, you now have the news, you got the tips and tricks, and now go own this day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger, the Venti Business Guy, and you guys know what time it is. What time is it? You know what time is it? Oh, come on, man. It's time to get to work. Pow!